Hey, I'm Lenny.
And I'm Gavin, and together we're known as Short Attention Spa.
You're listening to our new daily-ish podcast, Comedians Calling Comedians During Corona. Our live shows got canceled, so we're planning to go viral instead.
We're setting out to flatten the curve and give you and ourselves some laughs each day by calling comedians from around the world.
Sometimes our moms might be on too.
Mom, we're recording a podcast.
We're available on all the podcast platforms like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other ones. Please subscribe, and you can watch the video version of this call on our YouTube channel, Short Attention Spa.
Today is March 28th, 2020, and this is episode 10.
Our guest today is the co-director of the Barcelona Improv Group. He teaches, produces, and performs. He's also a member of the European Improv Project Ohana, and he has performed all over the world.
Let's give Noah Levin a call. Hey, Noah! Hi, Noah.
Hey, Noah.
Can you hear us?
Hello.
Hello.
Thanks so much for joining us. How are you doing?
Yeah.
Pleasure. As good as can be, actually.
Noah, maybe we can just start with you telling us where you are in the world right now.
I am in Barcelona, Spain. I just moved up from my apartment to my girlfriend's apartment, which we were affectionately calling the summer house.
Uh-huh.
So we went about a week quarantined together in my place, and now we're up at her place. And it's a little bit bigger, a bit more echoey, but my place is a studio, and her place is a 2-bedroom.
Okay, wow. So that's cool. You half the time one place, half the time with the other. Sounds like custody arrangement for my kids.
Exactly.
Yeah. This is not one of my kids, by the way. This guy with the glasses. This is have you seen this, Noah, where on Facebook, if you search for your first name followed by the words glamour shot,
Yeah.
find the photo. Well, the parrot was.
That's your glamour shot?
Yeah. This is my glamour shot.
How are things going there? Like you mentioned, you don't mind quarantine so much?
No, for me, I'm in a really good position. One of the things that I wanted to do this year was to get a lease on a full-time improv theater. And I am so glad that the process has been delayed and I'm not paying on an empty theater.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not paying rent on an empty theater. Yeah.
Which there are lots of groups that are in that position for sure. So that maybe do you want to just tell us a little bit about your improv? You're one of the directors of the Barcelona Improv Group. Is that
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about what you're doing in comedy there.
Yeah. So Barcelona Improv Group has been around since 2011. And we are doing shows, classes, an international festival, a workshop. Now all of that online. We do 2 professional shows, 1 or 2 professional shows every month. We do student shows 3 weekends a year. And we do classes and workshops all year round. With a November festival that we're really hoping will still go through.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we're just.
And have you been?
As they were a growing expat improv community.
Right. So English language.
And have you
in Barcelona?
Go ahead, Lenny. Have you been able to move some of your programming online in the last few weeks?
Yeah, we made a move to bring our classes online, and we've had a couple of students have dropped out because they're not into it, or they'd rather just have a little bit of a refund. But for the most part, our students are in. It's nice for them to get a little fun in their week. when it's not just video conferencing for work, but we're playing improv games. And then as the Barcelona Improv Group professional cast, we've been doing rehearsals online, and we're working on a show. But we want to make sure that our shows have at least the standard that we bring to our live shows. So we're working to find ways to make it really fit in the medium, because there's, I think, just certain realities that, we're not miming things as easily when it's on video. Like it might be easier to actually have an object rather than pretending we're in the same place, but we're obviously on video screens, to just find the ways that we can be, maybe we all work together, or we're in a video chat like we saw in a parallelogram of photograph show, or do a scene where somebody's at the doorbell camera, do a scene where there's somebody in a prison, two spaceships meeting each other in outer space, something that fits the medium that we're using.
Yeah. And have you watched anything out there that's been successful that you've seen either other theaters doing, or you've seen, oh wow, or you've tried yourselves with your group that it's like, oh, this game really works well, or this format seems to work? Go ahead.
We've had good response doing in the classes. We get to do a lot of different games, and there's some that work really well. One of the things I've noticed from my students that is really enhanced by this situation is listening. That we have to make sure that people are ending their sentences, ending their lines, and giving space to the other person, so that there's no crosstalk. Same thing, don't interrupt. Cut down on the crosstalk. And it really does help in that respect. Also, people aren't worried about their mime and their physicality. Just focus on your face, focus on your emotion, and listen to the other person. So that's going well.
Right.
A few short form games have been really fun. I think there's an extra silliness factor just because of the cabin fever, that we all are just looking for an opportunity to laugh. And then, I found that things that have an order to them work well. So we did a La Ronde in our last rehearsal with Big, and it worked well. Just, we know going in, the person entering turns on their camera, has the first line. The person who was already in the scene ends the scene by turning off their camera. So, and then we know the next person comes right in. So it fits, and it goes with a nice order in this medium.
Yeah.
Right, as opposed to a free form montage.
I was going to say, Gavin, that we could take a lesson about the crosstalk.
Yes, absolutely.
Sorry.
It's tough
and also it's interesting.
Now this is the game of the scene now.
Things that do not work, anything with rhythm, or when things have to be in sync. So we tried to do a Beastie rap.
Uh-huh.
And it failed miserably.
Right on.
Everybody's just a quarter second off each other.
Yeah. Noah, can I ask you, can we, that's amazing. And I think, I know Magnet Theater has been trying to put a lot of their shows online in New York, and this is happening. But can I just shift the discussion a little bit to the actual coronavirus, where you are, and what that's been like for you? Kind of when did it first come to your attention, and what kind of actions have you taken, and what's the climate there around you?
Well, the thing that really struck me the most was the speed at which things were changing. On Wednesday, the 11th, we had a meeting with the teachers in the morning where we all met at a cafe. And, we were washing our hands plenty and not touching, not doing the traditional two-kiss greeting. But we were talking about the student shows, which are supposed to be this weekend, and how the classes were going and making the plans for what courses we'll offer on what days of the week at the end of April. During that meeting, I happened to get a text from one of my students, "Hey, are the student shows canceled?" And I said, "Why?" And she said, "Well, aren't you watching the news?" So I look on the news, and Madrid has just closed all schools and universities. So I said, "No, we're fine." Over the course of the afternoon, we have a 4-hour back and forth over WhatsApp, sharing articles and debating whether or not to cancel classes immediately. And I'm the holdout, saying it's overreacting. We really don't need to. 45 minutes before classes start on Wednesday, we cancel. At the same time, I'm planning a weekend retreat for Ohana, which is a European improv collective of 50 members. And we had our meeting set to be the 13th to the 16th of March. We started with 30 people. At that point, 2 days out, we were 15.
Wow.
And by 1 day out, that had dropped to 10. Wow. And because the news was coming in so quickly, we made a decision, again over a long series of text messages, to cancel for the next day and tell people, don't get on your flight Friday morning. Wow. Thursday afternoon is when we made the call. Friday afternoon, a friend comes into Barcelona on his way back from Costa Rica. He was supposed to be staying in my flat while I was in Germany and flying home on the following Monday. And we raced to get him a flight home, a new flight home on Friday, because on Saturday, they're going to close the borders and not have any flights going in and out of Spain. Because the airlines were looking for a chance to shut down. They're losing money left and right. They want to ground. So from Wednesday afternoon to Friday afternoon, my world got completely flipped. And that's been the most crazy thing. Now it feels really calm and tranquil and normal. I'm in quarantine. They extended it to April 11th. That's all I know. I'll do some classes online. I'm lucky that I have savings, and I'm just waiting this out. But luckily, I'm not, as I said, I'm not paying rent on a space that's empty. I am trying to figure out how I can get some Social Security money, which is not easy for me to understand because it's bureaucracy and in Spanish. Mm. And then as far as the climate here, I think it's very surreal because everybody's living their own separate life. So I'm lucky that I'm, spending most of my time inside. I might spend 3 days without even going outside to take out the trash or pick up some groceries, just 3 days indoors, breathing the same air. But, I've been able to split my time, sometime with my girlfriend, sometime alone, sometime with my girlfriend, sometime alone. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And other people, they've got their spouse and kids, and they've got to keep those kids entertained 24/7. That sounds like a lot. Mm-hmm. I know a couple of people in other countries that are sick with coronavirus, but it's mild. Right. I've seen videos of the hospitals, and it looks like a war zone. People in the hallways, because it's overwhelming, and I see vlogs, but I don't experience that. So I know that I'm very lucky, I know that I'm very privileged. But I think everybody is having a different coronavirus experience. I'm most worried that we're going to lose the two-kiss greeting.
Ah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a big part of culture, right?
Yeah. It really is something that is so, like, it's not every European country, but in Spain, Italy, where there's the most transmission, France, Netherlands, people do greet each other with the kisses, and sometimes to a ridiculous amount. Like if you walk into a party and there's 7 people standing by the door, you say hello to every single person as you walk in, and then you stand there, talk to them, another person comes in, and it's 7 more.
right.
But
Yeah, it's horrible to think that we might lose some of that just natural closeness to just to hug your friends or high five or whatever. Like you're going to be careful. You're going to be suspicious from now on, I guess, on a certain level.
yeah, and I think about that with improv classes and shows. You know, are people going to be nervous about going into a theater and breathing the same air as 80 other people? Are people going to be shy about going to like a rock concert and being jammed in with 5,000 people? Or are people going to stay away because you never know when it's going to come back or when something's going to come back?
Yeah, it's pretty scary to think about that. What about to keep yourself, like, are you watching anything? Is there any comedy that you have been turning to, or anybody who you've seen has been doing a great job making people laugh through this?
Ooh, I kind of fell into a Netflix hole watching Better Call Saul.
Uh-huh.
And I've watched 3.5 seasons in as many days. I haven't been listening to comedy or watching or listening to podcasts so much as I've been kind of doing that or just watching and listening to the news.
Right.
I'm already a big news junkie, and things just happen so fast, and I sort of keep listening and reading until my head starts to hurt, and then I completely disengage.
Yeah.
But now that I know that your podcast exists.
Sure. Yeah, of course you'll be a regular watcher and listener now. We do appreciate that. Cool. Well,
have you been doing it?
I'm also looking forward to taking other people's workshops, because I've been seeing that everybody's been offering their workshops online. So I'm trying to nip in and grab a workshop from somebody, other teacher that I wouldn't normally get to study with. But a lot of people are doing their drop-ins online.
Yeah,
which
is
been
so
really cool to see.
Yeah, because all over the world, you can take a class from that teacher in Germany, or you can take a class from that teacher in South Africa or whatever. That's been really cool. Being able to participate in improv jams in Toronto without having to drive the 2.5 hours from where I am out here in the country. That's been really cool. And to make connections like this with people who we wouldn't meet under ordinary circumstances from so far away, that's been kind of cool for me, for sure.
Yeah, and another benefit of this is I've been calling my parents every day.
Yeah, me too.
Same thing. Yeah, checking in with mom.
Yeah, and I actually got to have for the turnaround for the first time in my life is I got to chastise my own parents because they went out to get their haircuts. This is like, why are you going out for that? And my mom was like, well, we made the appointment so long ago, we felt bad, but you're right, we shouldn't have done it. It's like, yeah, stay in your room.
I know, right? All the boomers are hearing it now from their kids. Yeah, same with my parents. They've settled in now. My parents live in Vancouver, which is like on the other side of the country from where I am. But yeah, same thing on the phone. It's like, no, you can't just go to the store and buy your lottery tickets. Like, don't do that. It's not worth it to go out right now.
But just like you said with planning for the theater, like things change so quickly, and it's hard for us to just change the way we think and the way we do things.
Yeah, and harder for them.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Right on. Well,
So now we're trying not to crosstalk, and so now it's just like
That's right.
dead air instead.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, I was just going to say thanks so much, Noah, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to seeing. We're going to follow you now and see what Barcelona Improv Group is up to. We'll make sure to put a link to BIG in the description. And yeah, stay well. I hope that we all get through this, and yeah, just I guess keep washing your hands and stay well.
Thanks so much,
Yeah,
Lenny.
thanks a lot, Noah. And we will get back to the 2 kisses, man. We will get back there eventually.
Okay. Thanks so much, guys.
All right.
Thanks, Noah.
Have
Take
a good
care.
one. Bye.
Bye for now.
Thanks so much for listening, and don't forget to wash your hands.
We're Short Attention Spa, and we'll be here every day calling comedians until we go viral, or until we go viral.
See you tomorrow.